investigated reported disturbance at Acer Plaza?
10-4 dispatcher, verify address.
It's Acer Plaza. Repeat, Acer Plaza.
Shots fired on the rooftop. An assault in progress at Acer Plaza. Repeat, an assault in progress. It's a war zone down here. 1085 dispatcher, need additional units. Additional units now. Officer in danger. Officer in danger.
10-5, please repeat. 10-5, all units, emergency. Officer in danger, Acer Plaza. Repeat, Acer Plaza, all units.
They were all dead. The final gunshot was an exclamation mark to everything that had led to this point. I released my finger from the trigger, and then it was over.
Max Payne. Maximum Payne. His name hides his destiny, never to find peace, to lose everyone he cares about, constantly to be in pain and always be on the edge of life and death. This is the tragic story of the title character of the revolutionary Max Payne. In one fateful night, everything he loves is gone in a blink of an eye, and the world around him crumbles. Arriving home, he finds his baby daughter and wife killed by junkies under the influence of a newfound drug on the streets of New York called Valkyr, or just V.
That was 3 years ago.
After the funeral, Max transfers to DEA and goes undercover, determined to find where the drug is coming from. Only two agents, Alex and BB, know who he is. 3 years later, Max finally have a break on the Valkyr case. He received a message from BB to meet Alex. Max have a bad feeling about this, and he wasn't wrong. Alex gets killed and he takes the blame for the murder. With nothing left to lose, Max takes the path of vengeance. He is chased by everyone, police, monsters, freaks, and so on. This wild chase is happening in the middle of a huge winter storm, as if it comes the end of the world. From here what follows is twists and turns, betrayals, meeting with insane villains, bad guys helping you with information, corruption, blackmail, and so on. The story is one of the best things here. It's written by Sam Lake, who is the face of Max. The script is full of metaphors and references to Scandinavian mythology. It's brilliant.
I could tell by the empty accusing.
Cutscenes are great and original. They are looking like graphic novel with neo-noir vibe, and the voice of James McCaffrey make them even more memorable. Because of the moderate budget, Sam Lake is the face of the main character, and friends and colleagues are other people in the game. The cutscenes are filled with the inner monologues of Max, from which we find the story and his mental state. Even so many years later, all this is still kind of impressive. But what is most memorable and revolutionary is in the gameplay section. The thing I'm talking about is bullet time. It gives you more time to react and make more accurate shots. You can see to the silhouette of Max an hourglass. There is shown how much bullet time you have. With the press of a button, everything slows down and you can even see where the bullets fly. If you dive in, it takes a little part of it, so you have to decide how to use it. The hourglass drains quickly, and the only way to fill it is to kill enemies without using bullet time. You have to use it wisely because slowing down time is essential for reaching the end of the game. The game is highly inspired by Hong Kong action movies, especially those of John Woo. The game is old school and it doesn't have regenerating health. You restore it with the most logical thing for the game, painkillers. Sometimes they are not in obvious places. The feeling of using bullet time and blast through a small group of bad guys is awesome. You are almost invulnerable, but you're not. Max's life is fragile, and even on the lowest difficulty you can die in a blink of an eye. The game is hard but fair. She will kick your ass right from the start and ask, do you want more? Most of the times when you die, it's your fault. Some enemies are cheaply placed and you don't have enough time to react. So quick save is always an option. I don't want to know how it's in the higher difficulties. Max have substantial but fairly standard arsenal of weapons. Pistols, shotgun, double-barrel shotgun, assault rifle, Uzi, grenade launcher, grenade, sniper, Molotov, and my favorite, jackhammer. In close range is irreplaceable. The only weapon I don't like is the shotgun. The reloading speed is low and I often die when I use it. Here you can find one interesting and innovative thing. When you shoot with the sniper, the camera follows the bullet. Sounds familiar? Few years later this will be the main feature of Sniper Elite. The level design is awesome. They are fairly diverse. Abandoned buildings, harbor, mansion and so on. One place is even turned in a brothel. There you can see, especially in the abandoned buildings, the dark side of New York. The atmosphere is dark, grim and depressing, particularly when you see the consequences on people using Valkyr. Death is above them and waiting to collect their souls. There are other more bright places like mansions, skyscraper and so on, but there heavily armed men are waiting for you. There are also two different levels, little annoying to navigate but they are not long. They are dreams representing the mental state of Max, his fears, desires and the guilt he feels all the time. Dark and confused, just like him.
Murderer! You killed her!
The graphics are bad, but it's a 14-year-old game. Human models are not pretty to look at and not different enough. When you take in account the release date, the modest budget of $3 million for 4 years and the small Remedy team, it's not surprising. But in the end the game sold 7.5 million copies. "14 years later the sound design is still impressive. Guns don't sound bombastic, they are not too loud. When using a pistol, you hear a pistol. The voice acting is fantastic. Even people with small roles do a great job, but most memorable is James McCaffrey. There is one actor voicing one of the bosses, Lunatic using V, can make you shiver when you hear him talk.
Mine.
I have tasted the flesh of fallen angels. I've tasted the devil's green blood. It runs in my veins. I've seen beyond a world of skin, the architecture of blood and bow and arrow. Death is coming!
You will remember the music in Max Payne, especially the signature music theme. Deep beat, followed by piano, and little bit later guitar and drums can be heard. All this sets the mood for the sad and dark story of Max. The others are also good, energetic tracks with pinch of tension in the style of 80s action movies. Some places don't have music playing and this just adds to the atmosphere. Phenomenal soundtrack. When you consider the budget of Remedy, all this is incredible. The game is classic and everyone has to play it. It even ran great on Windows 7. You have the feeling you are in John Woo movie where the hero pour a rain of bullets and skillfully avoid them. Despite that the graphics didn't age well, every person has to see the roots of the series and the beginning of Bullet Town. It doesn't matter how other games call it. The foundation is laid here. The story and gameplay are still relevant. Fantastic soundtrack, great and innovative gameplay, original and interesting cutscenes, superb action. Here is also laid the foundation of one of the most beloved games from me, Max Payne 2, The Fall of Max Payne. I highly recommend it.